The other thing that's really important, which I think is one of the worst problems that we have with seniors, are prescription drugs. A lot of seniors out there are paying more money for drugs than they are for their rent, and that just can't be. And as we know, as we get older, we have the need for certain medicines. The prescription drug bill that was passed was a bad bill, in my opinion, and it put the donut hole. So once you get to a certain level as a senior, you have to pay money out of your own pocket. Seniors can't afford that. So this bill, starting right now, every senior will get a check for $250 to start phasing in to do away with the donut hole. Okay. I think next year or the year after that you will only have to pay 50% of what your prescription drug costs be. That'll help deal with the donut hole. Right. And in 10 years, now we have to phase it in because it costs too much money. You can't do it all right away. Right. In 10 years, there will be no more donut hole, which means the seniors will continue with their prescription drug, their 80/20 copay, whatever that may be, whatever the program is. Right. And that's very important, that no pre-existing conditions. You have a stroke, you will not be dropped. And this is very positive. I have a large senior population in the 2nd Congressional District. You look at my record in Baltimore County Executive, and now we will be there for seniors. Seniors will be taken care of. This bill, the health care bill, not a perfect bill. There's got to be worked on a lot. But it will also help people, not only seniors, but people that don't have insurance. You know, why we had to deal with the Medicare, though, is because of every $6 an American spent, $1 went to health care. We could not continue to afford that. You talk about deficit. Health care was just hurting our country. Right. So you had to step up and do something. And a lot of where we're going to get to the next level, I believe, is in technology. If we could put a healthcare center next to every emergency room, so people don't have to go to the emergency room, we would save billions of dollars. Right. And these are the things that the healthcare bill will move forward with. And this issue about, you didn't read the bill or this or that, that's not the case. This healthcare bill, from what Steny Hoyer told me, he's been in Congress for 30 years, was debated more than any bill that he has ever seen. Now, it's complicated. There is a lot that's complicated, and we'll work through all of this. But what I want to say, and I want to say it to my constituents here at Oak Crest, if you need any information or you want me to get somebody from my staff or Washington to come and have a forum with you to tell you or ask questions about health care, we would be happy to do that so you can be educated. Let's get the facts. Right. Let's not deal with the emotion, but get the facts.
Yeah. I mean, you're talking more about, the partisanship in politics nowadays, right. And I think it's just as bad in the media. You do have your right, you do have your left, right. And they're really not, I mean, they're pushing the points that they want to push, and it's not, and with this health bill, it was destroying things.
Oh, it was destroying the country. It was sad to see the country so separated. Mm-hmm. But what was really sad, when you scare people. Now, once we were able to get to our senior population and the people that called, we were able to calm them down and say, no, where in the bill does it say this? What does it do? And again, it's not a perfect bill. Right. But what's really upsetting is that I have a lot of Republican friends, and I am called a senior whip, and I work with Republicans and Democrats. That's my style. People know me. You look at my record. Right. And a lot of Republicans wanted to be involved. It would have been a better bill. And hopefully they will be after this election. Maybe this election will calm things down. We'll start being able to be Americans all together. We're not going to agree with everything. Yeah. Look, I'm arguing with the president now in space.
There you go. I mean, you've got to be independent. It's what you think is best for the country.
It's what you think's best. I'm a very independent person. It's what you think is best. Sometimes, let me tell you what I did in the healthcare bill. I held out for small business. Mm-hmm. I felt very strongly that small business in a recession did not be penalized if they weren't going to give health care. Mm-hmm. So what I did, I made sure that small business would not be affected. The bill says that if you have a small business of 50 people or less, that you will not be penalized for not giving health care if you can't afford it. And I was not going to go into the bill until I did that. It's how you make the sausage over there. Right. A lot of what you see at the end vote, it's a negotiation. It's the moderates and more conservative Democrats like me bringing the liberal over here, bringing the conservative over here. It's all coming together. Every bill's like that. It's not like it was in Baltimore County, where I was county executive. We only had 7 members of the council. Right. You could get things done a lot quicker there.
Now, I want to touch on one other really pressing issue that's been pushing a lot, and that's immigration. Oh, yeah. There's Arizona, and some people are saying that their state laws are pushing things just a little too far, and it's almost, it's having profiling occur in that state. Right. Maryland so far hasn't seen that, but rumors are swirling that some states are looking at the possibility, and they agree with Arizona. I mean, what's your stance on?
I think what's happened in Arizona is because of the lack of the federal government standing up and fixing the problem. And the reason the problem hasn't been fixed because you have the left, who want to make it more open. You have the right, and they're both raising a lot of money, and we have to come together. My issue with immigration is, number one, you have to protect the borders.
Right.
You know, I do national security, and I think the only person in the Maryland delegation that voted to put up the fence and the wall. We need to take just a small percentage of our intelligence community, of our military, and we need to put resources on the border. You have to, and it's not just about immigration; it's about drugs coming in.
Right.
I mean, that's really important and relevant. But if we had the will and the way, and years ago when I first came into Congress, I put in a bill to put more border patrol in the borders. It has to be done. We have the technology to do that. So that's number one. And before either side's going to come together, you have to show that as the most powerful country in the world, we can secure our borders. We have to do that. Okay, now the second issue, you have to understand where Arizona was coming from. These are people that have crime come to their communities. They live in the community, and because they couldn't control immigration and crime and drugs and whatever, you know, they were kidnappings, and we wouldn't tolerate that in the state of Maryland. So you have to be strong, and the federal government has the power to do that, and we haven't done it, whether it's Republican or Democratic administration. The other thing then is that you have to make sure that you have a path to citizenship. You just can't say you're citizens. You have to make sure people need to go and learn about America. They need to learn, you know, how to communicate. You should go to school and learn some English. There are ways and paths to citizenship. On the other hand, we have so many illegal immigrants in this country. We could take every police officer in this country, and all they would do is go try to find illegal immigrants. And that means they couldn't deal with rape and murder and all the drug problems that we have in this country. Mm-hmm. Terry Sheridan, the head of the state police, said, please don't give us immigration. We're having enough problems dealing with the crime right now.
Right.
So from an immigration point of view, let's secure our borders, let's have a path to citizenship. And that part of that path is if you then will get your citizenship, you're going to pay your taxes. And believe me, if there are illegals out there, they're breaking the law. We cannot tolerate breaking the law.
Right. But we also have to understand that there's no way we can just take everybody and they're going to leave. It's just impractical. So let's get it together. Let's set up a system, and hopefully this will come together. I'm not sure if it's going to come together or not, but you know, it's not fair when you have a business that does not hire illegals, and then another business can hire illegals and pay them less money. That's not right. It's not fair. You know, it is illegal, and we have to deal with it. And the reason it's been out there for so long, and every year we wait, the problem gets worse and worse. Right. And I think here in Maryland, you know, it's great to have an opinion, and it's great to say that we know what's best. But you got to consider, you know, you're talking about how Arizona, you know, they're down there right on the border of Mexico. Oh, yeah. So, I mean, they have to deal with Texas. A completely different set of problems that we have to deal with. You know?
But you can't tolerate profiling either. Exactly. We're Americans. We are diverse. And because you're a certain color doesn't mean that you should be stopped. You know, there are ways to deal with that, right. But you can't profile. I mean, and I remember that when I was a county executive, the Sikhs that would wear the turbans, and because bin Laden wore a turban, the Sikhs were being discriminated against. They were Americans, and we had to take care of them, and we worked that issue out.
Well, Dutch, we're running out of time quickly, sure. But in closing, I just really want to ask you, I mean, what do you think in the last 7 years as representative, and even before that with your career in politics, what has been one of the biggest shining moments for you in your political career?
I think I take one incident, and I was really proud when we were rated one of the top managed counties in the country. I think I was proud about the Operation Hero Miles, that we were helping our troops and then working, you know, with our veterans. But I think if you look at my career, I hope people will judge you on what you have done and who you are, and you have a record, and not the rhetoric at election time. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of emotion out there right now, but you know, I think because of my experience that I did make a payroll before I got into politics. I think that I had the experience in a lot of different ways, and I think that's why I was able to get on the Appropriations Committee, which helps my district and our state, to get on the Intelligence Committee as a former prosecutor to protect our citizens from terrorism or the threat of Russia, China, Korea, you know, North Korea, all those different areas. And I really think it's an honor to represent the 2nd Congressional District.